everybody to the Metroid Prime Randomizer weekly race. My name is Sasquatch. Joining me today is Captain MD13. Captain, how you doing?
I am fantastic. It's always a good day for some random. What a better way to end the weekend than with some random elevator shenanigans. What are you looking forward to in this particular race today, Sasquatch?
Um, Maybe Vanilla Phazon. That'd be
Vanilla
interesting.
Phazon. That would be nice and spicy. Alright, our runners have been given the green light in the race time. We should see countdown timers start to react in just a couple of seconds.
Yep, and today we've got Op82 versus the Ginger Chris, both good Prime runners.
Absolutely. We'll see where we start off with here, as in this rule set we do start in a random elevator. We also do get potentially 1 to 3 starting items, so we'll see what they start out with as well. We're hoping for maybe something a little nice to get things going here, but let's see. We are off, folks. Alright, so Magmore start. And our starting items today are main power bombs, Varia, and Grapple. We start in the second workstation elevator. That's a solid start. That's a lot of very good items. And this looks like main plaza. And is that super missiles on the grapple ledge?
Looked like a spreader to me.
It looked like at the very least a beam combo. I missed the half pipe, but that's definitely a missile on vault ledge. Alright, so having power bombs is nice. Unfortunately, no morph ball to use them. So we actually can't go out that workstation 2 elevator yet. Looks like Ruined Nursery had a missile tank for us. It's actually funny, despite having all 3 of these starting items, our first progression is still going to be at Hive Mecha.
Yeah. And we've got missiles.
And that is immediately followed by Space Jump. Both runners nailing the Hive Mecha skip here. Very well done. Good thing Prime doesn't have a sideways speed cap. Glares semi-furiously at Echoes and Corruption. Alright, we got more missiles in Ruined Gallery. I always get these Ruined names mixed up. It's way too easy in Prime.
Yes. Gallery's the one with the morph ball tunnel, and Nursery's the one with the save station.
Okay. Alright, the half pipe is in fact another missile. And now we're going to see what Grapple Edge has. It's definitely a beam combo of some kind. And it is supers. Nice. 3 minutes in and we can full
Nice
clear.
call.
In 3 minutes in and we can full clear main plaza. And the tree has Morph Ball. Somebody in chat totally just called that. Alright, so we now have the ability to use our fancy new fancy granted power bombs at the start. Which means we now have a workable elevator to use getting into Magmore Workstation. Unfortunately, we can't get the workstation item without Wave Beam.
And it is technically not in logic until thermal.
Ah, okay. Now, look, Ruined Shrine, unfortunately, was nothing but Ruined Shrine of missiles. So, nothing of exceptional note in there. Op triggering the beetle fight here, but is still going to be able to waltz right out thanks to either space jump or the fact that picking up the item removes the wall. The invisible wall under the morph ball tunnel. Oh, it's an ice door, that's right. I also forgot about the ice door. And TGC is going to give us a very early magma pool check, courtesy of that various suit and grapple beam, and it gives us more missiles. Next $1 million question, of course, is how are we supposed to get to Artifact Temple? What's the elevator plan here?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Looks like Op also deciding to check magma pool.
Yeah, I understand the reasoning for checking this so early. You have the logical tools to get it. You might as well just get it out of the way, just in case. If it's Wave Beam and you're very lucky to go check Training Chamber access, then fantastic. If it's not, oh well, at least it's out of the way.
Yep.
Gathering Hall has our Morph Ball bombs. Power Bomb locked bombs. You love to see it. So we essentially have the full early Chozo care package here. Save for Spider Ball for Upper Dynamo, but that's about it. Shoutouts to the weekly, I can't remember if this was 2 or 3 weeks ago, that had Plasma Beam in Lower Dynamo and Flamethrower up top. Ooh, TGC making, oh, okay, yeah, TGC, I think, realizing health is a little too low for comfort for checking, checking Watery Hall without a full tank of energy. Alright, what does Lower Dynamo have for us today? It has a nice beam. Well, we can now access that second workstation elevator. For real this time. Unfortunately, TGC is going to have to leave this other item behind. Oop, got blast capped a bit there.
TGC's got to be careful.
Yeah, there's a lot that can kill you in Chozo. Gets a power bomb drop, though. And yeah, is immediately, without hesitation, going straight to the save station.
Yeah, don't blame him there.
Meanwhile, Op is going to give us a look at what was in here. Not even going to bother scanning it, just going to go for it. Unfortunately, it's just missiles, and now he's got a beeline out of it before the water takes its toll, and it does not. Both runners making very gutsy plays in this early game, and I love it. I'm pretty sure Op also just... You first.
For Zoid.
Just want to point out, both runners got the exact same power bomb drop from the exact same Shriek Bat. Op is electing to not take a safety save here. Oh, he's going to get some drops off of the Shriek Bats. Gets 30 energy and 2 power bombs. Oh, that Shriek Bat's a guaranteed drop. I did not know that. Luckily, power bombs haven't been a tremendous issue for our runners. At least not yet. It does help when you're starting with the main launcher, though. So yeah, both runners have haven't really taken much in the way of branching steps yet. Really hasn't been a whole lot of room for a divergence up until picking up that ice beam, pretty much. Our runners really have a choice of going into Far Chozo thanks to that ice beam, or to continue through, go to Magmore Caverns and go backwards through that way. Because they can't access the other elevator without Wave Beam, I don't think. The other workstation elevator, I should say. Yeah, Zoid only having missiles, so Chozo is starting to dry up a little bit, it feels. It had a great early start with that, with supers and space jump, but that's, yeah, now it seems like we're slowing down a little bit here.
TGC probably going to check, could check lower furnace and then dip out and go towards Magmore.
That
Or
is true.
can continue to Far Chozo.
Yeah, it's really a case of take your pick, because if you do continue to Far Chozo, you have access to Antechamber as well as the two elevators in that area, because they're both available now. Because they can both climb up the...
Without Wave Beam, they would have to do a fairly difficult bomb jump to get access to Reflecting Pull.
That is very true. Either a 3BJ or an IBJ, take your pick. Neither one is particularly pleasant. But we shall see. I want to pass these put it past these two runners to give it a shot at least. In before Waybeam is just chilling right here in Lower Furnace. Aww. Just an energy tank, but that's the first energy tank of the seed. I'm sure they're welcome to see that, especially after they both ran through Watery Hall with only 18 or less energy.
Looks like TGC going towards Far Chozo may just be peeking Upper Furnace and then leaving. We'll see.
Yeah, it's trying to walk up the spider ball track, because if you walk it up at just the right angle, you can... It's not sloped at 90 degrees, which means you can walk up it in Prime. Because GameCube Prime collision, folks. Alright, that was a missile tank in Upper Furnace, so no need to stress over that for now. Already at 45 missiles, so pretty solid for now. I'm sure we'll run into a few more along the way. Yeah, it looks like TGC is at least going to try to check Hall of the Elders here. Almost got sniped by the Chozo Ghost. And Op is following suit.
And then coming from Call of the Elders, they have the option to check Crossway. Because it is a normal door from the backside.
That is true. They can check Crossway, and with some standable terrain, they can get it without Boost and Spider Ball. Although, do you need Spider Ball for Crossway? I don't remember.
Boost, Spider, and Supers.
Okay. Yeah, they have the Supers, but they don't have the other ball upgrades. Although, I would suspect Crossway might have progression at this point, given how we already have Supers. Granted, we still need the other two ball upgrades, but then again, I wouldn't put it past the Seed Generator to try something funny. Both runners opting for a similar strat of trying to cutscene skip the statue activation with the ice beam switch. That's funny. Ice spreader in the ice beam check. But that is still very good to have. Ice spreader makes Exo just much less of a pain in the backside. And TGC will check Crossway for us, and it has an artifact. There you go. And indeed, what TGC is going to do is take advantage of some standable terrain here to just jump to the artifact. Ooh, doesn't quite enter the tunnel, though.
Yeah, that tunnel can be a little finicky.
And you can see we have almost perfect synchronization in between our runners. I think, and both runners taking another fall here, I think what happened is they gave themselves too much vertical distance before entering the tunnel. I think if you're going down too fast, you can't gain enough horizontal speed to get in the tunnel in time. TGC, however, realizes this and picks up the artifact. Ooh, but Op takes another fall. It's actually quite exciting to see both runners neck and neck like this, even 15 minutes in.
Yeah, definitely.
But it looks like this is where their Farchozo dive ends for now. Ooh. Op is going to... Actually, wait, no, I'm getting my rooms mixed up again, aren't I? Yeah, Op's back in Furnace as well. I thought Op was going the other way out of Crossway, but not the case. Yeah, it looks like they're going back. We might see them do Flagra, but it's kind of a seemingly unnecessary given the equipment they have right now. They're probably going to go check the elevator and vault instead. Looks like TGC might be taking a quick field trip back to Watery Hall in order to grab the, what we now know as a missile that could not be picked up earlier due to health issues. Is going to be mildly disappointed in this. And actually, that quick backtrack is going to give Op the position advantage here briefly. Alright, so Op has returned to Main Plaza and is going to... Looks like it's heading back in the direction of... Yeah, I think this is going to be a vault check here.
They've got bombs now, so they can check the Ruined Gallery morph track.
Yes, that too. Looks like TGC is electing to go directly to vault. So TGC will be the first one likely to check the elevator for us here, but inside vault we have another missile. Whereas gallery contains yet another missile. Okay, now we're getting a little missile heavy here. And the vault elevator takes us to... I have no idea where that was. I don't think TGC let the text box go enough.
Looked like Talon to me.
I think I saw Talon barely, but I didn't see Where in Talon. And there's plenty of Talon elevators to play with. Looks like TGC is deciding to backdoor into Ruin Gallery from the Hive Mecha Zone. And it is to Canyon. Okay, so we have our Artifact Temple elevator. Alright, so our runners are Op's probably going to check that as soon as he sees that vault is useless here. And actually is heading back, so must have seen vault already. Alright, 20 minutes in, we are going to get our first look at Talon. Plenty of items up for grabs here. Only an X-ray visor away from checking Root Cave with this equipment. But our runner is most likely going to check both Root Cave and Arbor Chamber. With bombs, they can both do the out-of-bounds without much difficulty, and we have almost near elevator sync. Shoutouts to one time in last year's tournament where we had a there was a frame perfect elevator sync at one point. And indeed, Op's first play is to go directly to Root Cave. Just cleaning out some space. While TGC elects to go to Landing Site. Looks like TGC wasn't interested in whatever was under the ship. But TGC is the first to check hints. Ooh, Op not interested in doing the Arbor Chamber out of bounds today and will instead go directly to Transport Tunnel B. After the door immediately shuts. Rude. Oh, I would say that's a pretty important item. That is Wave Beam. And meanwhile, the other elevator leads to Monitor Station. Okay. And we'll see if TGC elects to check the artifacts now or later. Some runners will tend to wait until they have access to more areas of the game, like more progression, but it looks like we're going to see them now. Our remaining 5 artifacts are Chozo Ice Temple, so we need Plasma. Phendrana Shoreline, so we need either Plasma or Spider Ball. Shore Tunnel, which is pretty much free at this point. Research Core, that's just about free. And Control Tower. Wow, these are not too bad artifacts, actually. I'm pretty sure we're only looking for either Spider Ball or Plasma Beam for those. And as Chad points out, 4 of those artifacts are in Phendrana. Alright, we're going to get an alcove check from TGC, and it has... that looked like a power bomb tank.
TGC now heading towards Frigate Crash Site with Space Jump. It is a fairly simple slope jump to get it, or you could alternatively scan dash. Also with ice has the option to climb frigate and go for overgrown cavern and check the elevator there.
I imagine they will. There's like 20 different ways to climb Frigate Crash Site these days, and it does give you a fairly free item as a result. I definitely agree with this play, because elevator knowledge is definitely something you really want to have for endgame routing purposes especially. But it looks like TGC is only interested in checking the item, which was a missile. Now, I don't imagine TGC is going to be putting off Wave Beam for too long. I would suspect he will be checking Transit Tunnel B before too long, probably on the way out to check the elevator. Meanwhile, is finally saving at the ship, putting a lot of uneasy minds to rest after that low-energy run through Watery Hall and on the way to up through Gathering Hall. Yeah, with Plasma Beam being needed for so many artifacts, the only potential troll, and the only potential troll I think we really could have is Phazon Suit in Lower Mines. Or behind a boss or something like that. We'll see if TGC elects to do the Root Cave out of bounds, not Root Cave, Arbor Chamber out of bounds here. Well, it is in Root Cave, to be fair.
And looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, bombs are a very convenient item to have for attempting this out of bounds, because it lets you just wiggle your way out of the collision pretty much any time. And inside Arbor Chamber, we have an energy tank, which is certainly not unwelcome. Op is proceeding through Overgrown Cavern to check the elevator here. Let's see where this takes us. Lava Lake. Okay, there's a lot we can do in that neighborhood, actually. Meanwhile, TGC is going to check, we're actually getting some divergence here. TGC is going to check Transport Tunnel A and the middle section of Magmore in the Monitor Station neighborhood, while Ob checks Lava Lake and early Magmore. And that's Phazon Suit. I'm about halfway into saying Cetus Freus at this point.
Yeah, it depends on where Findrana elevators are.
That is true, although Magmore still has 3 unaccounted for elevators, so it's highly likely one of them is going to show up here. And if it doesn't, that's actually terrible. Nice pair of energy tanks in the Warrior Shrine neighborhood, though, so that TGC is going to have a nice 4 energy tanks now. And is very conveniently, TGC is going to route this into the Shore Tunnel artifact. Meanwhile, Op has found missiles in Triclops Pit, is going to be making the way to Storage Cavern. just to clarify with something in chat, I don't think both Phendrana elevators can be in mines, because there's also only 2 mines elevators, so that would actually lock Phendrana and mines in between each other, so that's actually not possible. TGC thinking about it, but electing to not pick up the storage cavern energy tank. How rare would that be? That would only be the case if there is no required progression in Phendrana or mines. Unless I'm missing an elevator somewhere. It's possible if every major item can be taken. Ah, okay. Alright, Op is now going to check Transport Tunnel A and be very happy to see that Phazon suit. And they actually just high-fived, and we didn't even notice. Ooh, excuse me. So at this point, it looks like the way forward is either... it looks like it's going to be towards Twin Fires and Workstation. Not really a whole lot else we can do at this point. With Ice Beam and Power Bombs, just about all elevators are usable now. And TGC is going to see, or has seen, that the Lava Lake elevator leads back to Talon, so is also going to turn around. And actually, I would say Op is in a better position here, since he already knows about the Lava Lake elevator. TGC, on the other hand, is going to have to go all the way back through Triclops Pit to get back to towards Workstation faster. And what is an Upper Fiery Shores? Looks like another energy tank. So Chozo is loaded with missiles and a good chunk of progression, and Magmore so far is loaded with energy tanks. Alright, this is the save station reflecting pool elevator here in Twin Fires. And in Antechamber, we have more missiles. Sticking to the Chozo of missiles. Alright, Aunt meanwhile has returned to Hall of the Elders briefly in order to drop the shield. Just in the event that they have to cross through this way later or check Elder Chamber. Chat's saying, chat's starting to eye Tower of Light, which is technically still out of logic due to lack of... Oh, that's Thardus. Okay. Still out of logic due to lack of ball upgrades. So we now have our way into Phendrana. Looks like TGC is also following suit. We'll see what they choose to do. Quarantine Monitor should be a free check courtesy of Grapple Beam. But yeah, all of the remaining artifacts are here in Phendrana, and they're all obtainable right now. Except for... Actually, no, Shorelines is not obtainable. They need either Spider Ball or Plasma Beam. And also Ice Temple needs Plasma too, so I take that back. They need Plasma and or Spider Ball. I don't think... given we have Grapple Beam to get out, could Spider Ball be vanilla in this case? Because of that whole point of no return shenanigans?
So in the weekly, point of no return is set to not allow, so I don't believe so. Well... Well, yeah, that's a tough one. I don't quite know off the top of my head. I don't know if it's logical to use the grapple point to get up from the bottom.
Okay. Looks like both runners are electing to go straight into Farchozo and descend towards Gravity Chamber. And we've got Synchronized Tunnel entry. We've got Synchronized Tunnel Traversal. Look at this, folks. We are synced up. How about that? Ooh, Hunter Metroid giving off a tad bit of trouble there. Ooh, nice ice shots.
TGC went for the R jump or the slope jump instead of the R jump.
And is rewarded with Thermal Visor and Security Cave. That's actually kind of concerning, because now Thardus is in play.
The only items they cannot get in Farfendrana is Storage Cave, as they need Plasma. And then logically, Upper Gravity Chamber needs Plasma as well, but I know they both know the R-Jump. But it is just missiles, so not necessary.
And it looks like an energy tank down below, so Gravity Chamber not paying out any goods this time around.
Yeah, I mean, energy tanks are nice, but they both already have 5, and I'd say it's better to forgo having to do gravity-less Gravity Chamber.
Yeah, that's a fairly safe bet. I've seen gravity-less Gravity Chamber. It does not look pleasant. TGC, meanwhile, taking a long walk back up through... I forget where this is. It's easy to get my Farfendrana rooms mixed up, too, because of how similar they look underwater. Okay, he's back to Frozen Pike. And this, folks, is why folks like to get their gravity suit. So that you don't have to go walking through water at 2 miles an hour like that. Alright, looks like our next stop...
Now,
go on.
yeah, now the question is, does TGC go back for Thurdus or goes into Research Core? And looks like the answer is Research Core.
Yeah, I think I agree with this play more. There's just a bigger density of items in labs. You can get the control tower artifact without plasma beam pretty easily nowadays, and you can also do Hydra, thanks to super missiles. Because yeah, if we filter out the 2 artifacts, there's Hydra, 2 items in Aether, and Observatory. So yeah, there's 4 other items in here. And then it dumps out into Ruined Fountain, which is another item. So yeah, that's 5 items in fairly close proximity to each other. So yeah, the density is definitely here in labs, and it looks like OP also agrees with that assessment.
Yeah. So it actually dumps out into Ruined Courtyard.
Courtyard, that's the one, sorry. Fountain is the logically Flogger-locked room. My bad. Once again, folks, excessive use of Ruined in Ooh, that drone just did a dodge jump there. Very interesting. Downside of having to get research cores that now labs is dark and scary. I sympathize with those in chat that have mentioned that they have had childhood nightmares from this. I certainly did too. I think I was 10 when I first played this, and yeah, 10-year-old me was terrified. Nowadays, there's a pirate that can get stuck on some boxes and just keep running at you, and it's actually kind of funny now. Now, remind me again, picking up the research core item changes the layer in Control Tower, so the flying pirate trigger's not there, right? It's just a different fight altogether?
Yeah, so it just spawns a few flying pirates instead of having the ground pirates as well. So the doors do not lock. You can just skip this fight without having to worry about doing the avoiding the trigger.
Yeah. Fun fact, though, that trick is still doable in Trilogy, as well as getting the Control Tower artifact without Plasma Beam. Alright, looks like AWP is now traversing through Aether. Ooh, that Shadow Pirate just said nope. So yeah, the 2 artifacts... Go on.
And also with Research Core activated, means TGC doesn't have to do the pirate fight in Observatory as well.
Ah, so yeah, that's just another one of the additional reasons why it makes a lot more sense. Backwards Labs seems like a better play. You don't have to worry about fight triggers. There's 5 items in here. I didn't see what TGC saw in Observatory, but it must have not been important. Otherwise, we probably would have seen it.
Observatory was missiles.
Okay. Looks like TGC is electing to do the power bomb strat to clear this room. Is taking a little more damage than I think he might like at this point, because TGC entered this room with about 250 energy.
Fortunately, there is a save station and courtyard.
Very true. Looks like TGC is more interested in checking the item if he wasn't being constantly bullied by flicker bats. But it's just missiles. It likes to proceed without taking a safety save. We have an Ice Ruins West check here. This is inaccessible without Plasma Beam, and it contains a missile. And I can see now it's a missile in Observatory. Now, Phendrana Canyon is pretty notorious for having progression. Let's see if that's the case today. It is not. It is an energy tank. At this point, given that we're only looking for... What was that in the... Was that the artifact in the tower, or was that Plasma Beam? I couldn't see it.
I want to say I saw a beam, so...
We'll have to take another look at that on ops screen in a couple of moments. But yeah, Chozo Ice Temple unfortunately off the table right now until Plasma Beam does show up. But if Plasma is Spider Lock, that's going to be hilarious. But I think Lower Mines is pretty much useless at this point. Because Lower Mines beyond MQA is locked out by Spider Ball and Plasma Beam, so... Don't think we're going to be seeing too much of Mines today. At least not down below. Especially since the game gave us a free Phazon suit.
Yep. And to answer a comment in chat, Just Do Wave Sun, IS is actually banned for the weekly.
Alright, Op now on the way to Shoreline, so we'll get another quick peek at that lighthouse. And we're going to see where the Shoreline's elevator takes us. I think this either has to take us to Workstation, or... I think this has to take us to Mines. Oh, no, it takes us to one of the Great Trees. I forgot about the Great Trees. Not sure which one, though. TGC went into it before the rest of the tech showed up. This is Ice Beam Lock, so it's Great Tree lower, if I'm not mistaken.
And without boost, TGC is going to have to do reverse bars.
Ooh, significantly more difficult trick than the standard bar skip, just because of that ledge being so small here. TGC is getting very close to it, for sure. Should TGC succeed at this, it will unfortunately only grant one check in the form of Great Tree Chamber. And off went to Shorelines, but I did not see what was in the lighthouse. Yeah, I still couldn't see. I could see the item for a brief moment, but I couldn't see what it was. Enough time should have passed. Chat saying it's missiles. Thank you, chat. Okay, so it's not a spider-locked plasma beam. At least not yet. Could be spider-locked if it's just chilling in MQA or something. Now, with the elevators we have collected, there's only 2 pairs left. And both the remaining elevators have to lead to mines now. The other workstation elevator has to lead to mines, and Great Tree Upper has to lead to mines. We've now seen both Fendrana elevators. We have seen the other 3 Talon elevators, yeah. Both the remaining elevators, both the remaining Talon and Magmore elevators have to lead to mines. Exactly where in mines, we're not sure yet. TGC is very insistent on doing this bar skip.
So due to... so with what TGC is doing, it's definitely out of logic. Question is, where is progression then?
I think...
so they skipped Thardus.
Could be.
They also skipped Flagra.
Workstation is also open to us now that we have Thermal Visor.
That is true.
So... Oh, TGC took a bit of a hit from a gel zap or something. Down to less than 100 energy again. But it looks like TGC is abandoning the bar skip and will be returning to Fendrana. Let's see what Op decides to do here. It's thinking about it for a second. And elects against it. Nope. Oh, he's chosen to reset. Oh, he might be saves coming back to Ruined Courtyard? Did he save there? I can't remember.
I'm not sure if he saved in Shorelines, but definitely saved in Courtyard.
Oh, okay. Probably saved in Courtyard, because otherwise resetting wouldn't save that much time. Alright, so we now know the artifact in Shorelines is plasma locked. So we could be able to get away without Spider Ball this seed, but it looks like Op is heading back in the direction of Thardus. Might be skipping it, but let's see. Is taking the time to grab extra missiles. This may be a Thardus play. We'll see. Oh, looks like TGC's got the same idea. And yep, Op is just going straight for Thardus. Let's see. TGC going into this will be, if so choosing, going into this fight with only one power bomb, so won't be able to skip as much as Op has. But it looks like TGC's trying to scan dash past him. And succeeds. Ooh, very interesting call by both runners. We'll see if this plays out for Op 82 here. And TGC, meanwhile, is returning back to... Where did this come out from? Reflecting pool, so... If I had to hazard a guess, TGC is either going to go through Twin Fires and head to Workstation. Although can you do that without Spider Ball from Twin Fires?
It is possible, but it is not in logic.
Didn't think so, but it looks like that is. It looks like Twin Fires is where TGC is going. So let's see what happens here.
I'm honestly thinking at this point progression's on either Thardus or Flagra.
Ooh, could be. If not there, then either Workstation or in whatever Mines Elevator Workstation leads to. Looks like TGC is proceeding to Workstation. Just deciding to take the shortcut. Now, since we can backdoor Workstation, Plasma Processing... Actually, Plasma Processing can't have Plasma Beam in these settings because, again, point of no return shenanigans. But that is Thardus down for Op. Let's, we're gonna see if this pays out. And Gregonak had an energy tank. Bummer. And a super missile of frustration. I'd be displeased at that too. Alright, we'll see if TGC is interested in doing... Actually, without Boost and Spider, Plasma Processing without either of those is kind of annoying. Doable, but annoying. Alright, we're getting our first look at Workstation 57.5 minutes in. Looks like Op is heading in the same direction, and that is Spider Ball in Workstation. There you go, folks. We've actually had access to this for quite some time, too, ever since Thermal Visor showed up. Our runners could have gotten it even before. Pretty much since Ice Beam. So, with Spider Ball, that gives us Upper Dynamo. That gives us...
Sun Chamber Ghosts.
Sun Chamber and Ghosts, that's right. Yeah, that gives us a few options, but it doesn't... Unfortunately, the options are kind of spread out, because it helps with mines a little bit, too. No spiderless shafts now. Oh,
and
boy.
I don't believe believe we've seen the other workstation elevator.
We haven't, but it definitely has to lead to mines, because the only other unknown elevator is Great Tree Upper. So...
Yeah, and with Spider, I think likely Mines has progression.
I would agree to that. We're gonna see which mines elevator this is. I would wager this is probably PPC if we're getting Spider Ball and Workstation. TGC's not even bothering to check the area. Makes sense.
Looks like Ops heading towards training chamber and training chamber access.
That is a pair of items available here. And it looks like this elevator does bust out at main quarry. So that means Great Tree Upper must lead to PPC. And nothing in the training chamber neighborhood, unfortunately. This area I found is very unlikely to have progression, mainly because it's held back by a lot of items. Alright, in the main quarry crane we have today a power bomb expansion. I don't know where that pirate's going. That pirate was just running away. Alright, let's see where Op chooses to go from here. Op is checking Tower of Light. Still out of logic without Boost Ball, but might still be worth a check at this point anyway. Op electing to do the standable terrain method of climbing Tower of Light. Or I should say the non-scan dash method. Ooh, falls down a level. But it's only one level, thankfully. Alright, Op is at the top of the tower and is gifted with a missile. And another missile in Tower Chamber, so unfortunately it is still Tower of Missiles here. Where is this plasma beam? Granted, there's not a whole lot of places it can be, given it can't be in lower mines, but even still, we're starting to run out of good checks. And it's not in lower elite research. If it's in upper elite research, we need boost ball for it, or excessive amounts of rolling into boost switches, which I'm sure neither of our runners want to do at this point. Right, it looks like Op is returning to workstation through main plaza and is going to be rewarded with Spider Ball as a result. I don't remember if TGC checks security access A here. Might have, but I probably wasn't looking.
TGC peeked it. Looked like a missile expansion to me.
Okay. Looks like TGC is now going to check the other half of Upper Mines through Storage Depot B and whatnot. Oh, but doesn't quite make it. To answer your question, chat, at this point we are just looking for Plasma Beam for Go mode.
That is, unless plasma is locked by another form of progression.
At this point, the only thing it really can be locked behind is either boost or gravity. TGC trying to bomb jump up this water room, having a little bit of trouble, but gets through. And with grapple, Storage Depot B is an easy check. But it only has more energy. Yeesh. It's starting to get to the point where Plasma could very well be either on Flogger or MQA at this point. And that's pretty much as worst case scenario as it can get at this point. Plasma, and chat's even saying Plasma Hunt a tail almost as old as the Phazon Hunt. Yeah, it's not much better. Plasma doesn't lock out a whole lot of checks besides lower mines rather. We might even see Central Dynamo here, in which case we get to tally Zoid Maze squares. Ooh, doesn't look like TGC skipped the Elite Pirate fight here. Fight, quote unquote, because rapid fire missiles and the fact that if a pirate doesn't see you, you're not there. I think I have to agree with Chad.
Looks like TGC is going to check PBC and then probably go to Upper Great Tree to get Great Tree Chamber.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only check without... Never mind!
And there's boost. I was going to say, without boost, Lower Mines is not technically in logic. There is now an edge case trick for boost to be in Lower Mines, but that's if you have the items to go all the way through. Though we have encountered a bug with Plasma in Lower Mines, and boost was in Chozo Ice Temple.
Oh my. Yeah, that seems like a bit of a problem. But if that's, for right now, it looks like with Boost, we now have Life Grove access, so that's 3 items, additional items in the Upper Grade Tree section, which TGC looks to be climbing PPC to reach.
I agree with that. I'd say it's the better choice versus just gunning it for Lower Mines.
I would agree, too, because it's 4 items in roughly 2 or 3 minutes. And at this point, you're in Plasma Beam Go mode, so one right move could basically give you the race, and one wrong move could cost you the race. I would wager, though, now that we just got boost, there's a good bet that Plasma is back here in Life Grove. If it's not Plasma, then it's Gravity, and we have a problem, because that opens up Frigate. Looks like TGC's first stop is going to be Great Tree Chamber, which gives us... That was a missile tank. The aura was a little too big to be Plasma Beam. But yeah, if you're chat and you want if you want to troll here, you want Gravity Suit to show up, because then that pretty much opens up the whole game besides Lower Mines. Unfortunately, TGC is almost got Life Grove there. So far, nothing coming out of this Life Grove play. Nice pirate collision.
Yep, Life Grove was not the play.
Certainly a very sensible play nonetheless, but it's just very unfortunate that it had no progression this time around. Life Grove I find to be 50-50 when it comes to having progression. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's just junk, like today. Looks like TGC is getting Life Groved a little bit on the subject of that. Just a little, though. Meanwhile, TGC is going to try a take two at bar skip here from the other side. Almost got it. And gets it through on the other way. So that route is now open up for TGC, who is electing to go back to the Great Tree upper elevator, which will return him to... oh no, he's going into... he's going to do the Hydro Access Tunnel wall boosts. We saw this, if I'm not mistaken, we saw this last week from Robo Scout as well. Yeah, for those not familiar with what a wall boost is, you effectively boost right as you touch a wall, because you do get a tiny bit of upward momentum from colliding with a wall. And if you time a boost correctly, you can gain some vertical, or in this case, downward momentum. In the case of Hydro Access Tunnel, to get out from this, you have to boost repeatedly, like so.
Nice job by TGC. That one can be fairly difficult.
Indeed. So, alright. I know it's still not logical yet, but Plasma and Biohazard containment, anybody? Because, yeah, at this point, we only... Go on.
I mean, I didn't get my vanilla phase on, so I wouldn't mind a plasma biohazard.
Indeed, but it looks like Op is electing to roll the laser manually without boost, and is actually going to take it all the way here to try and check upper elite research without boost. Even though boost is right around the corner, unfortunately. Although still, the amount of time it would have taken to backtrack up here, this is probably about the same time. If not a little faster. Yeah, I think I have to go with what chat said a few minutes ago at this point. I'm very highly suspecting ghosts now. Especially because we got super missiles, and Spider Ball wasn't too far deep in the logic chain, all things considering. You had to go out a little out of your way for thermal, but after that, it's been in play for some time. I would definitely suspect. What is that? Is that gravity and ventilation shaft? I think it is. Oh, that is definitely a suit. Okay. I'll ask again. Plasma and biohazard, anybody? Alright, looks like in the meantime, AWP has finished rotating the laser, and it reveals a missile.
Unfortunate.
And it looks like TGC will continue on to Central Dynamo. No plasma beam, so this fight's not active yet. And looks like there was nothing important down there, because TGC is just moving right along, but does not have a power bomb. Needs to go refill. Luckily, there's tons of power bombs in here. Looks like 2. Oppa electing to skip the energy tank. And we're going to see MQA now. Which includes a routine bullying from the Metroids. Luckily with Phazon suit, this room's not too dangerous. Ooh, I think that hit from the pirate killed some of TGC's momentum during that scan dash. I'm amazed that pirate is not currently KO'd after standing in that Phazon pool.
This is technically out of logic without X-ray, but I know TGC is capable.
Indeed. Excuse me a moment.
TGC making it across, nice job. And MQA is,
that's something important. That definitely looked like something important. I think that might actually be Plasma Beam. Unfortunately, I think TGC is looking for another power bomb drop. Alright, Ob meanwhile has returned to workstation. Looks like he's looking for where to go next. And I think TGC is reloading the room to get the Metroids to respawn. Yeah, because I don't think Op went to PPC to get Boost Ball, unfortunately. And yep, that is absolutely Plasma Beam in MQA.
So, funny story about that. PGC and I did a bingo race right before the weekly, and funnily enough, Plasma was MQA.
Oh, jeez.
So, two seeds in a row for TGC.
That's probably what encouraged him to come down this way instead of check Flogger or Ghosts. Unfortunately, these two Metroids are the only things that can drop power bombs, and they are being exceptionally uncooperative right now. Case in point. Alright, Op went back to Main Plaza by the looks of it. Folks, the Prime 1 drop system. Still not getting that power bomb. And yes, Chad points out, this is with getting main power bombs at the start. Now the question becomes, how does TGC route this? Let's have a quick look at the elevators. Because ideally, TGC wants to get to Shorelines, and the nearest Shorelines elevator is Great Tree Lower, which can be easily reached through the PPC elevator, which leads to Upper Great Tree. That'll give TGC Artifacts 4 and 5 by extension in Chozo Ice Temple. Then from there, Thardis would lead to Reflecting Pool, but the other Reflecting Pool is to Magmore. Alternatively, if you go all the way to Vault from Reflecting Pool, that would take you to Landing Site. So yeah, the elevators aren't too bad, but could be better. But finally, TGC gets a power bomb drop.
Still, with just one, has to do the slope jump. It can be a little finicky, but gets it first try.
And with that,
TGC's in go mode.
Yeah, not the craziest troll we could have seen. Certainly one up there amongst the list of top 3, I would say. But with Flagra and Thardis not being with all bosses, main bosses not being required, I would reduce the troll factor by just a wee bit. And I think TGC has to kill the cloak drone to unlock this room. Wherever it's hiding.
TGC has to get back to this door here to hit the spawn trigger.
Ah, yes. Gets a power bomb along the way up. And that looks like a missile in Central Dynamo, so yeah, TGC's not going back for that. Oh, it's a powerbomb tank. Never mind. A downgrade. I wonder if TGC picks it up for comedy. I don't think so. Oh, is picking it up. Okay, I guess we'll start counting squares. I think this is 17 at the first puddle. 19! That was a beautiful maze. Alright, Op is on the way back to Far Chozo here. See what this is about. Looks like he's just gonna pass through, go to the reflecting pool elevators. How rare is it to get max number maze? The max number is, I think, 57 if memory serves. It's pretty rare. But more commonly, you'll see 30s and 40s in my experience. It looks like Op is going through the ice door elevator of Reflecting Pool, which will take him to Thardis. And the only elevator from there would lead to Great Tree Lower. Claris's Maze Finder has a message for anybody who gets it. Oh my. Oh, 55 is the max. Okay. I thought it was 57. It might be 15 to 57, not 17 to 57. Might have my numbers mildly mixed up. So 2 minutes ago, in the race time, TGC says, I get punished for not doing a thing and get rewarded for doing the thing. And I assume that's related to the powerbomb shenanigans in Central Dynamo. But yeah, TGC is going to climb out through the PPC elevator, which will take him to Great Tree. This will give him a pretty easy highway to Great Tree Lower, which leads to Shorelines. And the last 2 artifacts.
It looks like Ob's going for Ice Ruins East.
Yeah, Spider Ball does open that up. Unfortunately, we know that there's pretty much no significant progression in there at this point. Except maybe X-Ray Visor, but... And we do know that was required logically for MQA, but that's about it. Nope, missiles. Looks like Op is elected to reset in order to make the backtrack a little easier. And there's now TGC, meanwhile, is in Shorelines picking up those last 2 artifacts. TGC has Phazon, yes. Phazon was very early. It was in Transport Tunnel A in Magmore. One of the Chozo elevators led right to it, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I'm going to double check that. Oh, it was the Root Cave elevator that led to Transport Tunnel A. So Transit Tunnel B led to Transport Tunnel A. Somewhat appropriately.
And it looks like RoboScout has finished in first place with a time of 1:28.11.
GG's RoboScout.
GG's. And it is actually a little bit of a thin turnout for this weekly. RoboScout is the only other runner aside from Op and TGC.
Yeah, I would wager it's just because of things starting to spice up again elsewhere, and everybody's probably primed out from the end of the tournament and all from last month, from the Echoes tournament. So it's also Mother's Day. Yeah, happy Mother's Day, folks.
It is also Mother's Day. Yeah.
Alright, TGC has made it to Great Tree. Returned to Great Tree, rather, and as a result, is actually already back in Talon. I didn't even think about that. Is going to elect to do reverse frigate in order to get to landing site. I wonder if he checks biohazard containment just for the memes. Because if X-Ray was in... Oh, wait. He has gravity suit. Did Op get boost? No, Op did not get boost ball. Has not yet been to PPC.
I would guess that's what he'll be checking here in a second.
Probably. He's probably not going to be too happy about that. Since boost was technically required to get back up through ventilation shaft. Which contained gravity suit, no less, which would have raised more alarm bells had plasma not been an MQA. And we do have RoboScout joining us in the Twitch chat. RoboScout GG, and we can fully agree with you. Boost and Plasma were definitely cursed. Op is about to find Boost right now. Actually, double-dipped mines. Decided to bust out after checking Elite Research. Decided to do the non-boost way of checking it. And it turned out to be a missile. And TGC not even remotely interested in the... Yeah, there's the frustration shots. Oh. So, RoboScout is actually informing us that, I assume after reading the credits, X-Ray is in fact in biohazard containment. So... that is a forced double dip of that is a logical double dip of mines. You had to go get gravity, backtrack to frigate for X-ray, and then go back to mines.
Yeah, that's a terrible logic chain.
Rude. We have to ask you, RoboScout, did you check any other bosses? Because up until we saw Plasma, we were suspecting Ghost for some time, given the early super missiles and relatively free Spider Ball. I don't want to say it was completely free, but it was pretty easy, all things considering. Never touched Magmore until the end of the seed. Oh, so Phazon was your go mode. Interesting. Alright, now Op unfortunately is still deciding to duck out of mines again after picking up boost. It's essentially going back to following TGC's route here and doing Life Grove from Great Tree. We unfortunately know this is not the play, but TGC is going to be our first Artifact Temple for final bosses. X-Ray is not needed for Essence. It does make the fight a lot easier because of you don't want to do Visorless Essence, let's be perfectly honest. But is it logically required also for Essence?
I believe so. Weekly does not turn off or does not remove visor requirements. So both visors are logically required for Essence.
Ah, okay.
So the only thing that actually hard requires a visor is Omega Pirate, which requires X-Ray.
Yeah, everything else you can get around, but for logic purposes, you need both visors. Alright, TGC meanwhile nailing the boost into Meta Ridley, and yeah, that works by the way, because for some reason, Meta Ridley is vulnerable to boost ball in the flying phase, and that does 50k per frame. By comparison, a missile does 30. Excuse me another moment.
TGC with a very nice Ridley fight.
Alright, I am back. TGC just entering Impact Crater, I see.
Op has decided to do gravity-less hydro access.
Ooh. Hopefully doesn't have too much trouble getting out. Oh, almost got it. I am going to go ahead and switch over to TGC's audio real quick, so apologies for any sudden volume changes.
Alright, TGC now in the Metroid Prime fight. So with Exo, there are 4 subchambers. Subchamber 1 has wave and power, and these can be in any order in any of the sun chambers. The next subchamber adds in ice. Third subchamber adds in plasma, and then the final one can be random. Or is random, I should say.
Yeah, anything goes in Subchamber 4, not to mention you get rapid double-speed charges. Yeah, Exo just becomes massively unpredictable, not to mention it's just a damage sponge naturally. It looks like Op has entered a DNF. So Op will not be finishing this seed today, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but I can sympathize with, how the seed's been going for him.
Especially considering what is now being determined as a logical mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have extended the invitation just in case Op does want to come in for an interview. And Op is joining us in the booth. Op, GG's to you.
Where?
MQA.
No.
Oh, it gets worse.
Nope, not finishing.
Would you like to know the full story?
Please.
Gravity was in ventilation shaft. X-ray is in biohazard containment, which you logically need for MQA, so... Yeah, the C was a logical force double tip of mines. So, we have to say, up until... essentially... the split in mines, the two of you took, I don't want to say virtually identical routes, but you two both were pretty much on the exact same, had the exact same game plan. Actually, the break was when you went to fight Thardis.
I wasn't sure what I could. I mean, without boost, I mean, I've never done reverse bar skip, and without boost or gravity, like there was really nothing I could see myself doing there. So I said to go back.
We were honestly suspecting ghosts for some time because of how super early super missiles were. I just realized what I said. But how early supers were, and how it wasn't particularly early, but Spider Ball being in workstation. Ooh, that's a rapid charge.
Yeah, I thought about doing Flogger and Ghost, but there were so many other places it could be. And by the time I forfeited, I knew that it could only be in the dumbest of places, and I was right.
Yeah, although, again, we do have to compliment the two of you, because before then, before Thardis, you two were practically almost had a perfect elevator sync. When you left the monitor station elevator for the, not monitor station, when you left the quarantine monitor elevator for the first time, you both entered, like, the tunnel after that virtually simultaneously. That's how tight it was up until that split.
Mm. I knew I would probably have to do. I mean, as soon as I got boost, I was like, no, I don't want to do mines. Please let there be some other way up top. So I went up top, but no, boost meant what I hoped it didn't. Mines, lower mines, all of lower mines, and then all the way back to shorelines. Wait, where was Plasma again?
Plasma was an MQA.
Yeah, too much to do.
Yeah, the elevators back to shorelines wouldn't have been too obnoxious. It would have been PPC to Great Tree, and then the other Great Tree takes you back to shoreline, so it would have only been a 2-elevator ride, but it's still a bit of backtracking. TGC elected to go through Frigate for the, after the shorelines artifacts to get back. Unfortunately, does not have X-ray visor, because did not go to biohazard containment to grab them, or passed right over it, didn't grab it.
Mm.
Now, TD's kind of just looking blindly, trying to find Essence at the moment. Managed to get a quick tickle off before the pool ran out. What'd you think of your starting setup? Varia, grapple, and main power bombs right off the bat?
That's nice.
Although, it's actually kind of funny. TGC, upon reaching MQA, did not ran out of power bombs. And it didn't help that he passed over the power bomb in Central Dynamo. But then proceeded to get a 19-square maze picking it up.
By the way, I apologize if I disappointed anyone in chat.
Oh no, Chad was enjoying the show, especially with you had a very solid Thardis fight. Oh.
Well, except for the fact that I spaced out and forgot the second bomb.
But yeah, we both Chad and us up here in the booth, we completely understand. This seed suddenly, the first half was fine, the second half it just went downhill. Pretty much from Findrana onwards.
The hell with those elevators, man.
Second half logic was not good in the slightest.
Yeah, I think TGC's just waiting for one more pool here, and that's going to be GG. And indeed, TGC finishes in second place overall, with first on the restream with an official race time GG time of 1:44.40.
GG's.
We will see if TGC will be joining us in the booth for an interview. I imagine he equally has words for this seed. Chad asks, where was X-Ray? Biohazard containment.
Hello.
Hello, Ginger Chris. GG's.
GG's for what was a very weird seed.
Yeah, it had a very active first half. You got a very nice set of starting items with Varia and main power bombs right off the bat, although that ended up spelling a minor inconvenience in MQA.
Yes. Minor is a very interesting touch, yeah. The Metroids have such a weird situation when it comes to powerbomb drops. So whenever you're not racing, they're very generous, but when you are racing, they're stingy. Very, very stingy.
And then, of course, you get a 19 square maze in Central Dynamo.
Yeah, I got punished for skipping it because I didn't notice it was a powerbomb. If I had done the Dynamo, which I should have done on the way through, got the powerbomb and then went to MQA, I would have been fine coming back. So I got punished in a sense that I was an idiot for not doing it, but then I ended up with the super easy Dynamo, which I was quite surprised with.
So it's going to show up on your credits in a second, but while you were in go mode, you walked past X-Ray Visor.
Oh.
It was chilling in biohazard containment.
Ah, okay.
So
yeah.
the logical suspicion of the seed was that you were supposed to get Boost Ball in PPC, go down to Vent Shaft to get Gravity, go back to Frigate and grab X-Ray, and then come back for MQA.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yes, it is.
Path on that. Yeah, I had a little bit of a tricky time trying to get the scan dash across. I'm not very practiced in it, and I was kind of lucky I ended up landing on the second invisible platform, which just gave me a little bit extra footing to get across.
Yeah, the pirates were certainly giving you a little bit of a tough time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alternatively, you could also shoot the platforms to find out where they are.
Yeah, I do know that. I was kind of trying to go for the faster strat of just like scan dashing across, which obviously, as you saw, wasn't paying off particularly well. And I kind of committed at that point trying to do it. And I was really annoyed because I was trying to do, as you would have saw, I spent like 3 minutes or so trying to do reverse bar skip, and it was really, really annoying because I knew exactly what elevator was on the other side, or at least I knew it was mines on the other side because that was the only elevators that were left to be seen. And if I'd got that bar skip, I think I would have been amazingly well placed because it would have just been straight into boost ball, straight into lower mines, and I might have got my plasma a lot sooner there. Instead, I had to lug it the long way round.
Indeed. Although we were telling Op earlier, between the two of you, you both took pretty much the exact same route up until you chose to skip Thardus. Op decided to fight Thardus on the way out of Phendrana after clearing Far Phendrana and Labs. All right, we're actually about to see from your credits. We've been actually kind of wondering where Flamethrower's been chilling at this whole time. PCA.
Not a chance anybody was getting that.
Nope.
On you go.
We were suspecting ghosts for some time, actually, because of the very early super missiles and the moderately convenient spider ball. It wasn't like the best spot for it, but thermal wasn't too late in the seed, all things considering.
I was getting very worried that Plant or Ghost had something because of just how far away they started to slowly become as I kept diving further and further. When I got the spider ball, I became extremely worried because that just put so many things in options for me because I got spider ball so late on. Just because of the way I routed, and it was just I wasn't sure what to do. And then from there, I started gambling on various little bits here and there, and it just didn't pay off.
Yeah, we started raising alarms when we saw Gravity Suit and Vent Shaft, and we thought, oh, come on, Plasma and Biohazard, let's go. But it was, well, to be fair, it was required, just not specifically had Plasma.
Yeah. Very rude seed. I don't like seeds that have Plasma and MQA, because it's the last place you want to check for it. And it's...
Indeed.
It feels bad.
To answer a question, chat, PCA, Processing Center Access, is the room after you fight Omega Pirate. You have to fight Omega Pirate to reach that room. So, that and Elite Quarters are the two rooms that are Omega Pirate required.
I was quite surprised with my final bosses, I will say. I managed to get Flyby Skip, which was surprising.
Indeed, you did. That was very nice.
And then my Subchamber 4 Exo decided to break and decide that Plasma and Wave Beam were the only things existing.
That is very true. We didn't bring that up, but it did catch my eye.
But no, GG up.
GG.
All right, anything else you two want to say before we close out today?
I'm good.
Nothing from me.
All right, well, with that said, folks, I think we are going to close out this edition of the Metroid Prime Randomizer Weekly Race featuring random elevators. We will be back next week with a standard elevators seed on Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m., channel to be determined, Eastern Time. Shout-outs to the two of our runners, Op82 and the Ginger Chris, who have put on a fantastic show for you here this afternoon. We'd also like to give a special shout-out to Lokir, who is our wonderful tracker, making sure everybody knows who has what, pressing all the buttons. And Sasquatch, it was a pleasure joining you here in the booth this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Captain, and definitely follow the runners, follow Lokir.
Follow the commentators as well, Captain and Sasquatch. Get following them.
Yes, we've also linked the link to the Prime Randomizer Discord for any, if in case you want to have a chat with any of the rando devs and get some information about all three Prime Randomizers, as we do have a randomizer for Prime 1, Prime 2, and semi-recently Corruption. But with that said, folks, we thank you for watching, have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next mission.
See you next mission.